Hi everyone, just wanted to take a minute to talk a little bit about the equation of a circle. Based on what you might recall, a circle is going to be a set of points that is equidistant from a center point. So using that knowledge, you know that there's probably two things that you're going to need for the equation of a circle, right? You're going to need the center point, and then you're going to need the distance. And that is exactly what you need, right? You need the center, which we're going to call HK, and you need the distance, which we know is the radius, right? The distance from the center to any point on the circle is the radius. So what I can do here is I can just call this some point x, xy, whatever. We'll call it a point xy. And then from there, what can we do? Well, we know to find the distance between 2 points, we would use the distance formula, right? So as you can see here, the change in y is, y minus k. The change in x is x minus h, right? Because you do x minus h squared. Y minus k squared is equal to, and then you take the square root, that would be equal to the radius. Now, I don't want to deal with a square root, so what I'm going to actually just do is I'm going to just square both sides, so I'll get the radius squared. And that is exactly what our equation is, right? So be careful. One of the easiest things to accidentally do on this is to make a mistake and write hk and do like x plus h, but we know with the distance formula, you have to do x minus, right? So just be careful with that, but that is ultimately where it comes from, the distance formula, your favorite thing. All right, so what is the equation of this circle? So we know we need two pieces of information, right? Oops, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So we need the radius, we need h, and we need k. So just taking a quick little glance here, we can see here that my hk is -7, -4. So just plugging that in, we would get x minus a -7 squared plus y minus a -4 squared is equal to my radius, and I'm going to count 1, 2. All right, so when I simplify, x plus 7 squared plus y plus 4 squared is equal to 4. And that's it. Again, just be careful with the negatives on the hk. It's very easy to accidentally screw that up. All right, let's do one more. So as you can see here, it's again going to be 2. My radius is 2. My center is now, what is this? 6, -7. So I'm just going to write down x minus 6, right? Because now it's a positive. Plus y plus 7, right? Be careful. And then radius squared is 4. All right, now obviously you're not always going to end up with a circle where you can just look at it and go, oh, well, the radius is this. Sometimes you're going to get points, right? Which means you would have to use the distance formula. So the radius is going to be equal to, by the way, if you don't feel like taking the square root, don't bother, right? If you're just looking for the equation of the circle, you know you're going to need the radius squared, so you can just leave it as radius squared and not worry about the square root. But for the purposes of this, let's just look at the radius. All right, so the change in x, what am I going to do? I need -1 minus a -2, which is +2 squared. -3 minus a -6, which is +6 squared. 1 squared plus 3 squared, which is the square root of 1, plus 9, which is the square root of 10. Okay, so my radius is 10. My center is, my radius is the square root of 10. My center is -2, -6. So that would mean that my equation is going to just be x plus 2 squared plus y plus 6 squared is equal to 10, right? Whenever you get something like this, don't forget you're going to ultimately end up squaring it. So the square root of 10 times the square root of 10 is just 10. Okay, don't forget the squares undo the square roots. Last one for good measure. Okay, this is 3, -3 is our center, right? So we already know that. Why am I starting with y? X minus 3 squared plus y plus 3 squared, be careful with that, is equal to, and I need to find the radius. Okay, so let's do this out. Change in y is, or change in x, I should say, 9 minus 3. I have screwed up x and y all day. Okay. And then we would have plus 0 plus 3 squared. All right, what do we have here? We have the square root of 6 squared plus 3 squared, which is root 36, plus 9, which is the square root of 45. Now, normally I would tell you you need to simplify this, right? Because this is the square root of 9 times the square root of 5, so it'd be 3 square root of 5. However, in this case, we are going to square it anyway. So, I mean, you can simplify it, but you're adding an extra step. If it's specifically looking for the radius in simplest terms, yes, you should simplify it. In this case, I'm just looking for the equation, and I'm going to square it anyway, so it's just 45. Okay, right, so if you are asked for it in simplest terms, simplify, but if you just need the equation and you're going to square it anyway, you're going to undo whatever work you're about to do, you're just going to undo it anyway. So anyway, that is everything about the equation of a circle. Once you get used to plugging it in, everything should hopefully be all right. All right, let me know if you have any questions, and have a great day.